The Center for Humanitarian Dialogue, or HD, recently organized the first Bangsamoro Mediators Forum from April 16 to 18, 2024. This event brought together 29 mediators from 14 organizations from across the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao, or BAR. The goal of this event is to build a community of practice, strengthen collaboration, and facilitate the exchange of knowledge on mediation. Since 2005, HD has actively supported local actors in the Bangsamoro to mediate and resolve community-level clan conflicts known in the vernacular as rido. Rido, a prevalent phenomenon in the Bangsamoro, is a cycle of recurring hostilities between families or communities where those involved often resort to armed violence to seek revenge for perceived injustices. These violent feuds not only cause death or injury, but can also result in widespread displacement, lack of security, and major disruption in the lives of people in affected communities. Volunteer mediators from the 6 camps of the Moro Islamic Liberation Front were joined by 13 other mediation groups from across the Bangsamoro to share experiences and talk about the challenges they face as local peacemakers in vulnerable settings.
Approach in conflict resolution is very context specific. No? Sa experience namin, what is applicable in one context might not be applicable in other context.
Siyempre, ito lang pinaka-number 1 na strategy, mag-tiis yung mediator.
Why genealogy is important because that's how we can be able to trace who are the influencer for every family. Because Maranao community is a homogeneous society that we need to know sino yung mga influencer sa family.
Gaano natin ina-acknowledge yung presence ni women doon sa peace processes.
Kung may rido, amin kay sir. Kung may rido, si babae ang nagdadala ng responsibility bilang buhain ng buong pamilya.
Officials of the Bangsamoro government from the Ministry of Public Order and Safety and the Peace, Security and Reconciliation Office were given an opportunity to explain how to respond to other conflicts in the communities. Participants engaged with the international donor community and discussed specific instances of rido and how these incidents resulted in security and underdevelopment of their communities. The forum culminated in the Bangsamoro Mediators Studio, which provided a broader platform to discuss the relevance of mediating community-level conflict in a post-agreement context. Over 50 colleagues from the national and regional government, civil society, the security sector, and the international donor community participated in the studio. The studio tackled models of mediation that have been found effective in the local context of the Bangsamoro peace process.
We did not call it a training. We call it mobilizing expertise because we know that all these people, all these partners are already mediators in their own locality. Handling mediations needs a local context, needs understanding, needs a bespoke approach, and thus a bespoke strategy.
Panelists also discussed how violence can risk undermining the gains made by the Philippines' landmark Comprehensive Peace Agreement.
We've seen an increase of local conflicts since the end of 2021 and early 2022. And of course, if you look at one rido alone, it doesn't really challenge the process as a whole. But putting all these things together brings a cost in terms of humanitarian cost, displacement, injuries, fatalities. It contributes to polarization in communities among the political structures as well. And I think it also creates new strings or lines of conflict.
They saw mediation as only the first step in a broader journey. They saw mediation as what they called as one slice of a peace pie. And so a lot of what was useful for them was how dialogue became the entry point towards more tangible investments, they said, with regard to socioeconomic investments, with regard to education, with regard to justice and peace.
International partners also had an opportunity to share insights on the importance of helping communities build resilience against violent conflict.
You have to listen to each other, not close your eyes, but really listen, reflect what the other is saying, but then go on, say, okay, how can you then participate? How can we be inclusive with others? So I think this is for me fascinating when it comes to mediation, and that's why I admire this process.
Mediation is about understanding interest, not about positioning. and focusing on how you find your common interest as opposed to focusing on the differences.
It's very important that we recognize our local insider mediators. They have the local expertise, the knowledge, they know how to bridge customary and traditional practices. They have built up trust and credibility with their communities, but also the courage that they go into dangerous zones to be able to do the work that they do.
HD is optimistic that through the Bangsamoro Mediators Forum, more homegrown mediators will be credited for their contributions in addressing and mitigating rising conflicts in their communities, as well as creating a vibrant community of practice.
Throughout the years, HD is able to support conflict resolution in the BARM through the generosity and commitment of various donors, many of which are here with us today. Hopefully, this initial effort will plant the seeds to grow a community of practice where Bangsamoro mediators can draw from each other, not only wisdom and learning, but also support and inspiration.